Okay, I see people coming in, so let's start. Hello, everyone. My name is Kate, and I'm the marketing manager at Emporix. And I would like to welcome you today to the webinar on scalable promotions and loyalty in B2B. We are Emporix, a digital commerce platform, and we are doing this webinar together with Voucherify, a promotion engine, which are both members of the MACH Alliance. And your hosts today will be Tomasz Pindo, who is the CEO and co-founder of Voucherify, Eberhard Weber, who is the CEO and founder of Emporix, and Nicolas Bernet, who is the head of pre-sales at Emporix. So it's 2:05. Maybe let's start. Eberhard?
Yeah, so thanks a lot, Kate. And welcome everybody again, also the ones that dialed in a little bit later. So as promised, before we talk about the actual topic of today, which is loyalty and promotions in B2B, I would like to spend a few minutes together with you to talk about technology. Why does technology matter? Why should you bother with technology also in the space of promotions and loyalty? And the first thing we should remember is when we look at the current platforms that are in the market, you see that most of them, or many of them, have been developed more than 20 years ago. And just to remember, 20 years ago, so that's 2 decades ago, that was before we talked about the cloud, that was before the millennium. So just remember what kind of smartphone you had at that time, if you had one at all. I had a Nokia 70 something, no internet connection, no smartphone at that time. So totally different world. So that means we look at single tenant on-premise software, also monoliths called sometimes. And they have a number of challenges today. So first of all, when you look at these, and maybe Kate, next slide, please, or next click, please. When you have this monolith and you have developed and built stuff and it got very complex, the motto is often never touch a running system. Right? Because if you change something, if you change A, you don't know if you break B. And you have to test the whole thing, which is huge. And then you rather leave it. And this has a negative impact on your innovation speed. So your business requirements will always be more than your technical delivery capabilities. And then the next point is, if you have a seasonal business or if you have performance peaks in your business, you have to scale up the whole monolith. And often you don't scale it down again because often you even have to buy hardware or you have to book hardware in advance and you can't get rid of this anymore. That means this has a negative impact on your total cost of ownership. And then last but not least, when you talk about legacy platforms, you talk about version software. So the software comes with a version number. And once or twice a year, you get a new version from your software vendor. And you are supposed, or you have to, upgrade to the later version. So what do? You migrate from version 6.5 to version 6.7, and your actual business benefit is exactly 0. The only benefit you have is that you can later on migrate to 6.8. And there are numbers in the market that span from anywhere between 20 and 50% of your total IT organization is bound to do migrations, and they cannot work on innovation. And maybe if we go on the next slide, please, let's have a look back in history. So that's how everything started, more than 20 years ago. And I was part of the hybrid story in the very early days when we built a very successful and a very functional product. But it looked like this in the beginning. You had an all-in-one solution with a lot of capabilities. And then later on, this changed to a headless picture because when new devices came up, like smartphones, you had to connect this somehow. So there was suddenly this internal API was turned into a public API. So, and this was, I would say this was a big step forward because you had a broader variety of touch points, and you could always source from the same data. And then people talk a lot about composable these days, but maybe one back, Kate. Sorry. People talk a lot about composable these days, which is a term that was coined by Gartner in 2014, so almost also a decade ago. And I think the idea of composable is really great because Gartner said, build a composable company, split your company in independent units that and empower them, give them authority to make their own decisions, and just define how they work together. And I think that's a great concept. When it comes to technology, the picture gets a bit blurry. It's not as clear. And in this picture that you see here, it would mean nothing else but connect other systems from other vendors to the left and to the right. Now, next click, please. Now, we see this as the ideal world. We see a collection of independent APIs, small pieces of software that can run anywhere in the cloud and that can serve any kind of touch points and that can easily be combined with third-party components. And you see this symbolized here. There are two green cubes on that slide. One is, as an example, promotions, what we talk about today. So in this case, it would be Voucherify. And there's also a cube for search because that's a typical one. There's no point in reinventing the wheel for search because there are great providers out there in the market. And then last but not least, last click, please. You have a looser coupling from left to right and greater agility. And now I promised you to talk about this a little bit. Why have we decided to found Emporix? Because we see a huge replatforming wave from left to right, from the very left or the middle to the right. And we believe that the ideal concept from a technology point of view is what is described in the MACH Alliance. And if we go to the next slide, please, you have basically this as a definition. You have four main criteria. M stands for microservices, A for API first, C for cloud native software as a service, and H stands for headless. And what does this mean? I don't want to go too much into detail, but I'll try to look at this more from a business angle. So what does it bring to you if you are responsible for the business side of your company? So first of all, microservices, there's nothing you as a customer or as a partner of Emporix can work with, because for you, it's a black box. You can't look inside, right? We take care of that. But it's a huge benefit on our end because we can develop with smaller software pieces, as you have seen on the slide before. We can work in parallel on different services at the same time. We have very short and quick and highly automated test procedures. That's why we can release frequently and very quickly. And just to give you an idea, a real number over the last months, we released twice a day on average and up to 10 times a day. So we even did, we worked on major things like database upgrades, bug fixing, of course, other stuff. And you wouldn't realize because we deploy this without any interruption in the background. And that's a huge benefit of a microservices-based architecture. No downtimes anymore, no need to interrupt your services, your business. It's always on. API first means nothing less than you can build your solution exactly in the way you want to have it. You can choose from the best vendors in the market and combine their services. And I often get the question, yeah, but wouldn't it be better to get everything out of one hand? And I say, well, yes, if that gives you peace of mind and you can live with mediocre services or on different disciplines. So we see in the market that the number of services gets bigger and bigger as more and more services in the market, highly specialized services from highly specialized companies. And if you run a best of breed approach, you combine these services to one solution. And this is only possible with an API first approach. API first means you can get all the capabilities on an API level and you can consume it from wherever you want. You don't have to do tweaking or little workarounds, for instance, in your customer experience. Cloud native software as a service means no worry anymore. You are always up and running. You are always performant. We scale elastically up and down depending on the requirements. And of course, the security is unparalleled. Last but not least, headless. Of course, this is a headless architecture. And if you are API first, you are also headless, but not the other way around. And this is how we see the world and what we believe should be covered by a modern software platform. And I think it's worth looking very closely if you do a selection. And what is also super, super important, and that's not even mentioned here on these 4 boxes, but that's the basis of everything, means that it has to be a multi-tenant software architecture. That means we deploy our software once for all of our clients, and the secret sauce is how you separate these different clients on the one deployed platform. And the proof point is very simple. Go on the Emporix website and start your free trial. And if you get your free tenant within a few minutes, then you can see this is a true multi-tenant software with highly automated procedures in the background. And with this, I hand over to Thomas to actually talk about what you are interested in today.
Thank you, Eberhard, for this great introduction to the MACH and to the whole concept around MACH architecture. Yes, so let's start digging more into the loyalty and promotions. So I believe that we have this common thinking, which is that basically in B2B space, we don't see too much loyalty and promotions. Like we don't expect to actually those B2B companies to deliver too much of those experiences because kind of the relations which we are building in B2B space is different. However, in practice, it's actually not true because it's very similar to B2C. Fundamental goal for both B2B and B2C is building long-term relationships, right? And encouraging businesses to do a repeat business. And for doing so and doing that reasonably, the best, in majority of cases, the best approach and strategy is to have solid promotions and loyalty. So all in all, in both type of businesses, we see promotions and loyalty, but obviously when it comes to implementation and design of those promotion and loyalty campaigns is different, right? It's different due to the fact that type of relationships is different due to the fact that selling cycle is different. In B2B is obviously longer. Business dynamics, they are different, and customers base is different, right? We have different personas, different profiles in B2B business, right? So all in all, promotions, loyalty, they are important for both B2B and B2C, but obviously they are different when it comes to implementation and design. So relations, as I said, that's one of the key differences. But on the other hand, reward structure is also super complex and different than B2C in B2B, right? What it means, typically for B2C, you have small rewards, which are often like real-time incentives and some sort of add-ons to your card, to your profile. When on the other hand, in B2B space, you have typically volume-based pricing. You sometimes have some sort of contractual agreements which rewards the most active and the most spending customers in your commerce platform. So reward structure is definitely different in both. And one and final thing when it comes to differences between programs in both areas, B2B and B2C, I would say data and personalization. In B2C, you tailor your programs to actually target specific person, specific profile. In B2B, it's different, right? Because you have to keep in mind the whole organizational structure, and you have to keep in mind that actually decision-making process is longer and it involves many different people before you actually do sale. And that's very important to actually understand that even though customer base typically is smaller for B2B, on the other hand, it's super complex. And it means that you really also need to have a good tools and good techniques for personalizing your promotions and your loyalty campaigns. And in the next slide, I will try to show you, before we go further, I will try to show you one of the successful case studies which we had in the past with wholesale customer. That was an US giant in pharma, which was selling to thousands of pharmacies, and they reached out to us with a super important problem and question. Back then, they were using hybrids for their e-commerce stack, and they had some basic capabilities for building promotions. However, it wasn't enough to actually cover the all expectations which they have. They really wanted to have promotions, coupon codes, which will be tailored to specific segments of customers. And in majority of the cases, those customers, they were selected and the promotions were given under very highly official circumstances, and they were signed under official agreements, right? And they were looking for a solution to actually get the promotion capabilities built and in market fast. But on the other hand, it was also super important for them to have scalable solution with super fast and speed response time when it comes to operating with promo engine and promo API. So they reach out to us, and actually within 1 month, thanks to the MACH architecture and thanks to the principles like API first approach, within 1 month, they were able to build an integration, and they were able to extend the cart capabilities and homepage of the customer, which was hosted on the Hybris technology stack. That was super satisfying because a really big organization, super fast, they were able to get a reasonable and tailored experience which they were looking for. And on the other hand, thanks to scalability, which we offer as a platform, they covered the second major problem, which was super critical for them: performance and response time. So yeah, that was one of the successful stories. But how it's come that we actually could do it, right? So let's move to the next slide. And in the next 3 slides, I will try to tackle 3 very important topics of loyalty and promotions. One of them is personalization. I already mentioned in the previous slides that critical is to understand who is your customer. And if we are speaking about B2B space, what is the structure of the company? Who are the profiles of the people who will be buying, who will be making decisions? It's super important. And to basically facilitate that process of data collection and facilitate that process of communication with your customers, next to the promo engine, which will be specialized in the promotions rules and verifying conditions for getting discounts and getting points in the loyalty programs, the super important thing is actually have a proper data source of truth. And typically, what we suggest in those situations is to leverage a proper CDP platform, customer data platform, and also proper customer engagement platform. And again, thanks to API first and headless approach, integrations between both and with different many systems for many different use cases. And in this case, for collecting data and personalizing your communication, thanks to this MACH approach, integrations with those systems is super straightforward. and save you time and money. And thanks to this proper configuration in which before promo engine, in front you have your CDP and you have your customer engagement platform, you really can get really personalized communication in very complex decision-making process, which is typical for B2B. And second thing, which also is super critical for your loyalty and promotional scenarios, and let's move to the next slide, is basically fraud prevention. In promo and loyalty, you are giving for free or you are encouraging customers to buy more. And typically you invest money in unlocking such incentives and such possibilities in your e-com business. And as you can imagine, investing money, it's obviously very risky, and you have to make sure that your proper programs are secured and programs are basically tailored and built in a way that you are preventing fraud and you are preventing abusing the promotion rules and conditions. So again, getting back to the MACH architecture and getting back to the best of needs systems and solutions, Voucherify itself here is not a solution for you to actually give you the full set of different fraud prevention tactics, because we are not system for that. We are system for managing and controlling your promotion rules, loyalty rules, and handling the basically a proper assignment and distribution of the discounts and loyalty points. So again, thanks to the MACH architecture, thanks to the API first approach and microservice architecture, you can hire and embed to your end-to-end loyalty program a proper service for fraud prevention. And this is also something which we typically suggest for our customers. And that's the best basically possible implementation, because thanks to this approach, you actually have really best of need solutions for different responsibilities. And you can make sure that piece of your loyalty program is handled properly by specific vendor. And now let's move to the final thing, which I wanted to share with you before we go to the demo of the connection between Emporix and Voucherify. Those are accelerators. And what we mean by accelerator? Typically, accelerator is something which makes your life easier and basically helps you in shortening your time to market when it comes to releasing and deploying loyalty and promotion programs. In MACH space, you have this super big selection of best of breed, best of need systems, right? And as you can imagine, time to market with all those microservices responsible for specific pieces of the business, keeping them and integrating them together, it takes time. And time to market in those cases, in majority of those cases, is not always optimized. So super important for us, for MACH vendors, is to basically have these possibilities of accelerating that time to market. And what it means a very strong and long selection of out-of-the-box integrations and plugins. That's one of the possibilities through which you can accelerate and can get value in market fast. But it's not only limited to that. Accelerator for us is also, let's say, list of best practices or sample code in open source mode, which you can take and use for building your integration. And this MACH alliance space basically gives you a lot of those different capabilities to get your products, get your ideas fast in the market. And accelerating through all those different kind of connections, best practices, guides on how to build integrations will be very crucial and powerful in your businesses on daily basis if you decide to switch to this approach, which we are promoting as a MACH alliance. And what we will be showing you in a few minutes is an example of such an accelerator, right? So together with Emporix and Grid Dynamics, we built a template for integration of loyalty and promotional scenarios in context of B2B commerce. And now I'm handing over to Nicolas to actually walk you through this sample loyalty and promo implementation.
Thank you, Tom. I'm going to share my screen. All right. So thank you, Eberhard. Thank you, Tom, for the presentation of Emporix and Voucherify. So as Tom already introduced, it's great to have an API first solution or best of breed, but how do you actually show it in a meaningful way? And this is why we created this showcase. So the showcase already existed before. And what we wanted to prove is to be able, can we build kind of the best of breed or show the maximum of promotion in kind of the B2B world in a short period of time. And that's what we did. So Voucherify did integration with Emporix with the API level, and then Grid Dynamics did the look and feel that I'm going to show next. All right, so I'm going to switch to my browser. So let's start with Emporix first. So for the people who don't know Emporix, I'm going to show you the backend of Emporix so that you have a sense of what kind of object we handle within Emporix. Then next, I will show you the same dashboard, but from Voucherify. And then last, I will show you the front end from everything I showed you from the backend perspective. How does it look really from the front end? So if I start with Emporix, so this, we call it the Emporix management dashboard. We have many different apps ready to be used here. The first one that is relevant for our call today is the app called Companies or Legal Companies. That's where we construct the whole account structure of one of the account that is in the e-commerce. So in this case, we have the Fiat as a main account, and then we have all the subsidiaries, and you can here really develop all the structure you need to make a successful e-com platform for B2B. Then I'm going to look at quotes. So quotes is a very important aspect, obviously, of B2B. So with Emporix, you have the options to handle quotes end to end. You have the option to give to your end customers to request a quote. So that's from the front end perspective. And then when that is done, you receive the quote here as an employee, for example, and you have the options here to manage now the quotes as an employee. So what you have everything related to the B2B company, in this case Fiat, which contact it is, the locations, and so on. The products, so the products, this is a way where you are going to work on your BOM. So you have the options to add more product as you wish. Then for the preview, you have the option here to manage now the quotes. So as a salesperson, you want to give maybe more discount to certain elements, or you improve the quantity. For example, in this case, I'm increasing the quantity to hundreds. And I'm going to give 100% discount in this particular thing. Select the shipping. I don't have a shipping here, but then I'm going to do additional information like the validity and so on. And with all this allows you then to create the quotes that will then really be sent to your customer. So this is for the quote. Then just to notice that we have an end-to-end order management system. If you don't have an ERP, or in certain country you don't have an ERP, you can manage that as well with Emporix. We handle also the whole return process. So this is also part of the platform. We manage the catalog. So we have a PIM integrated as well with product descriptions and everything you need to be able to show your product online and attach your promotion on it. And then finally, which is also relevant, is all the settings. So the platform is used here for the business user on the top, and now for the administrator. So if you need to add more sites or currencies, that's what you do here. And then finally, the role and permission and webhooks. So webhooks is a very important aspect of this whole MACH idea, because you need to be able for every single event that happens on any platform, on Voucherify, CMS or Emporix to be able to notify another system that something has changed. And this is where we have all the objects here. I have the product object. So for example, if the product update is done on Emporix or someone else, this will fire an event. And that's a typical event that will be sent, for example, to a search engine to be able to index this product so that you can then search successfully on the web. So this was a quick overview of Emporix dashboard. Now I'm going to jump on the Voucherify dashboard. So it looks like that. And I really like what Tom said, because my experience is that a lot of e-com solutions try to develop their own promotion engine. And hopefully with what I'm going to show you, you will see that it's not just a couponing system or a few points that you need to put in on your front end, but it's much more. And so to show that, we created quite a few campaigns. Maybe it's not really a real world, but just to show all the kind of different campaign that Voucherify can handle. So if I start with 2 campaigns, those are normal campaigns. So for example, here, this for the summer 2023, just 15% off coupon that you can use on the front end. That's good. And then here we have another compensation coupon. If I click on it, you can see that the information for that particular campaign is much more detailed based on the validation rules, the history of redemptions, the publication history, so that you really have also a log about any changes that happen on the promotion engine. And that's a very important aspect of the platform. If I go back, I have now another promotion type, which is the loyalty campaign. And now we talk about point and redemption. So here now you have more information because that requires more information for that particular campaign. One element is the tier level, so that depending on the tier you are, you will get a different points system. Then we have many other things, but here an important aspect is the participants, because you need to be able to check all the participants in that campaign so that you're sure that you have all the information available for that particular client, B2B or B2C in this case. So I'm going to select here Gordon as an example. And now you can see that we have really a detailed information, a trace about what happened to Gordon in this case. And to show the activities, we have the activity tab, perfect. So here I have now the list of everything that happened for that particular customer logged into the system. Then an important aspect, sometimes we say, okay, so where are the orders? In an e-commerce system, Emporix is the source of truth for the order taking. But to be able to do a promotion or successful promotion, the promotion engine like Voucherify needs to be able to know exactly what is the card level and how to apply those promotion to the card level. And that's why we have, or Voucherify has, an integration directly with Emporix here, so that Voucherify can surface all those orders with all the details that is necessary for creating a successful promotion. And then the redemption history, obviously, to see how was all the redemption. Now you have a list there available for that. So this is for the loyalty campaign. And now I go back. We'll show you a few more. Let's go back to campaign. And the one here is the bundling one. So the bundling one, like the name suggests, you buy something and then you get something offer a discount or even free, which I will show you afterwards. The item of the day, so the same way. So that would be an item that will be promoted for that day. But depending on the location, you need to apply different rules depending on the currency. And Voucherify also has this capability of creating formulas. And that's an example of a formula. And that's very relevant for the B2B world to be able to really target it for that particular need. And then the last one I'm going to highlight here is the Sunny company contract benefit. And this is only for B2B, because now we have a promotion that is based on an account level. So the account name here is Sunny Company, and the promotion will only show up for shoppers that are part of the Sunny Company contract. So I hope that this quick overview of Voucherify helped you to see that it's not just a simple voucher system, but it's much more that you need to really be successful at doing a promotion in the B2B world. All right, so let's now we've seen the e-commerce side from Emporix, the Voucherify, and let's have a look at the front end. So before I jump into the front end, I want to also mention that you have the options to test the front end yourself. So part of it I'm going to show you. This is completely open source, and you are able to download that under GitHub Emporix. We have quite a few open source projects here, but the one I'm going to show, it's called the B2B Showcase. So that if you want to test it on your own, as Eberhard said, you click on making a trial, and then in a few minutes you have a tenant, and then you can install as well the front end here. So this is how our front end looks like. So we try to surface as much as we can from the API first solution, in this case Emporix, as well as other system. But when we talk about Emporix, we have here a showcase that showcases many different sites on one platform. That means that I have 4 countries, so those are 4 different sites. The language, the currency, so that we can shop in any currency in any country in this case. So we also integrated Algolia as a search, blazing fast shirts that allows you to quickly search for your products. As I showed you before, this is the webhook that every time there's a change, then we push the information to Algolia. We support Algolia for the showcase, but we are supporting many different other search engines as well. In terms of content, so here we decided to go with Contentful. So when we switch, for example, the language here, and then the images that you see in the background here, this is all the content coming from Contentful. And not only the content, but also the promotion. So the promotion that you see here now for non-logged customers are coming directly from Contentful and are only valid, or you can only see them for anonymous users. If I just jump into Contentful to just give you a quick look, you can see that all those promotions are developed or are handled by an app. And you can add here, you can quickly add a new entry or contact type for people who know Contentful. And then depending on the promotion you want to create, you can create your promotion that then will be reused on the front end, like you see here in the front. Okay, so now I'm going to log in as Gordon. There you go. And I have here now the same view, but in the context of Gordon. So you can see on the top here that I already had one product in the shopping cart, so that the context is saved for that particular information. And I'm seeing all the promotion that are valid for that particular session for that particular client. There's a lot of promotion here to showcase what I've showed you before. I'm just going to take this one and I'm just going to say save it for later, because I'm going to see how it looks like. It's nice to have all the promotion here, but it might be a bit overwhelming. That's why, it's better to see promotion and information directly in context. This is why we integrated that directly into the catalog. So if I go now into a catalog and I take Bosch products in this case, you can see that all the promotion that are shown here are relevant for that particular session. So if I take here products, I see now that for each product, depending on the product type, the category, or the user connected, I will be present here with the right information. So I can see that because there's a promotional Bosch currently with 6% off, I can apply this promotion directly to now all the Bosch products. We decided to have that as optional. That means that you can here apply that, so it needs a click to be able to apply the promotion, but in another implementation that could be automatic. So when I add now this this product to my shopping cart with the other one from the previous session, now I have here the discount from that particular Bosch product discount. If I move on to another product, I'm going to go to Festool here, and now I'm interested into this grinder. And for that particular use case, I have another type of promotion, and that's the promotion, bundling promotion. So here I have now this diamond. So if I add this to my shopping cart, I will be presented with this amount, so as expected. But now I see that because I have this added to my shopping cart, I can now apply this promotion to my shopping cart. So by just applying it, this will now be applied, and I can go to my shopping cart. Let's go to the cart. And to help also to choose which one is actually making this promotion, bundling promotion valid, I have here the option to add missing products. And by doing so, now I have the diamond circular saw blade here for 0 in my shopping cart. Let's move on. Now I'm going to go up, and I'm going to increase the number of products here. So if I increase that product number to a certain amount, I will be presented by a new discount, which is now this discount. Everything more than $16,500 US, this will require a 7% discount. And then finally here, as a discount gold customer, I can again add here promotion. So you can see that we have a lot of promotion. This is a showcase to be able to show all the promotion integrated into the shopping process. So you can see it's completely seamlessly integrated with the shopping cart and also everything that is available for Gordon in this particular case. Let's go to the checkout. So the checkout now is a normal checkout, like any other checkouts. If I go to the payments, I have now other options here. If that happens, I can always add promotion, or I always have this list of promotion at any type of any steps of the checkout. I review and I confirm the payment, and now the order is made with all the promotion I showed you, so that you will be able then to receive that order, or that order is now final. Okay, so this was a quick demonstration about the work that has been done with Voucherify and Emporix with the front end, like we see here, and it's good to say that it took only 2 weeks to actually build the whole thing. So we had the React front end, like I showed you before. Then Voucherify created all the integration from the API level on our platform, and Grid Dynamics made it much more integrated so that you can actually see all the promotion from the front end perspective coming from Contentful. So you can see that we merge really all this best of breed application together to make this, as I showed you before. I hope that this demonstration was helped you to understand how easy it is and non-intrusive to be able to add new B2B promotion to your next or to your existing blueprint architecture. And with that, I'm going to move to the Q&A.
Yes. So if you have any questions, please submit them in the questions and answers chat. And we already have some questions, so I will start handling them. Meanwhile, you have the time to write your own questions. So first question goes to Voucherify. Tom, in the B2B market, promotions may only be valid if they do not exceed the profit margin, particularly when the customer's pre-negotiated price is already very low. For such a scenario, what would be your recommendation regarding managing the need to customize pricing and promotions, for example, based on the annual spending for each individual customer? Tom?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. So first of all, when it comes to tactics, how to basically handle these situations we've already exceeded the profit margins, I think your suggestions are proper, right? So one of the possibilities is actually to drive additional discount based on annual spendings. And when it comes to implementation and how it connects with Voucherify, I would say, again, I mentioned that in the presentation, CDP customer data platform, even if it's typical for B2C, I would use that in a case of B2B to transfer data between many different systems and collect and, for instance, have your customer profile in your CRM or ERP system, right? That will be a source of truth. And through proper, let's say, CDP integration, I would transfer that information into the Voucherify, where actually that information about, for instance, annual spendings could be utilized to give you additional discount rules when it comes to very fragmented customers groups, right? So that's one thing. Additionally, I think one of the good tactics, which I saw many times is, and in B2B, we saw that too, is to use kind of cashback programs for handling those cases, right? So it means that you are not giving additional discount on the current sale, but you are allowing those B2B customers to aggregate, let's say, loyalty points based on the spendings which they do. And then, let's say, at the end of the financial fiscal cycle, you give them in return a gift card with credits, which will be mapped from loyalty points, which they can use for some further spendings. And thanks to this, you are incentivizing them, you are giving them basically something for free. But on the other hand, you are accelerating them to do a next sale with you, right? So that could be additional strategy for these low profit margin cases. And as I said, from my perspective, data will be crucial here, because obviously you can build some sort of intelligence about your customers inside Voucherify, but obviously Voucherify is not a best of needs system for customer relation management or basically customer data platform, right? So what I would say, I would leverage in those cases proper integrations, use CDP as a middleware for transferring data between different systems, and let's say CRM as a source of truth, as a master of data, which you can take like annual spendings and then easily forward to Voucherify, and in Voucherify use that information for activating next promotions, next better prices and offers for your customers. Not sure if I answered this question, but yeah, hopefully yes.
Thank you. There is another question also regarding Voucherify. How does the process of promotion creation rollout looks like? The first part is asking about the drag and drop editor for promotion creation.
Yep. So when it comes to promo design and rules design and tool for building those rules, it's super complex, obviously, because for simple use cases, obviously can be straightforward, just one rule, let's say saying spendings above 1,000 euro, and it's super straightforward, right? But if we have situations like segmenting customers, combining this rule with another rule, with spendings rule, or with other rule that says that we give just discounts to specific product collections or products, at the end it can become very complex, right? So yes, we have a Canva tool for designing those rules. It's not drag and drop yet, but this is our ultimate goal, to have this in drag and drop way. So you can move easily rules, and you can change order of rules seamlessly. But all in all, we have this Canva tool in which you can add next rules and build different logical connections, junctions between those rules. So this Canva tool is pretty advanced and actually gives you a flexibility to, first of all, visualize your rule and seamlessly build that rule I would say, in a pretty straightforward environment without too much hassle. And not like in an old way, textual way. It's more like graphical way of designing those rules. Then second question, promo simulation. Very good question, because obviously before releasing promotion, and in B2B space, it's even more important. You want to make sure that your promotion acts properly and gives discounts for proper and well-selected groups, right? So you want to make sure that you didn't make a mistake with definition of your rule. So frankly speaking, at the moment, we don't have such a simulator inside the tool yet, but we are working on one. So within the next 3 weeks, we are planning to release a simulator, which will be a kind of mock-up of your e-com inside Voucherify dashboard. And in this mock-up, you can see basically behavior, and you can see inside the simulator which kind of effects you can expect once this promotion ABC, let's say, is activated and is active in your e-com, right? So this is something which will be released soon. And approval workflow, yes, obviously this functionality exists because you will be building your promotions with bigger teams. You will have there your junior team members, your managers, your administrators. And yes, in Voucherify, you have an approval workflow tool in which you can say that any kind of promotion created by selected role, by selected group of users, must be accepted by the super admin or by the manager, who will be responsible for, rolling out and accepting any kind of promotion within your organization through Voucherify.
Yes, thank you, Tom. I think that answered their question.
You're welcome.
We don't have more questions, so if nobody has any more questions, then I would like to thank you for participating in the webinar. And if you have any further questions later on, then you can always contact us at either info@emporix.com or sales@voucherify.io. I'll also send you email summary with the recording and the most important links for starting a free trial for Emporix and Voucherify. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.